A recent MIT study just dropped some seriously concerning findings about what happens to your brain when you use ChatGPT and other AI tools for writing and thinking tasks. The research shows that relying on these tools can literally rewire your brain in ways that reduce cognitive engagement and critical thinking skills, what researchers are calling cognitive debt. And it's exactly why we need to be deliberate about how we use these powerful tools. Let me break down what the MIT researchers found, because it's pretty eye-opening. They had students write essays in 3 different conditions: using AI, using traditional search engines, or just their own brains. When they monitored brain activity, the results were stark. Students using AI showed the weakest neural connectivity. Essentially, their brains were doing less work. Even more concerning, these students couldn't even remember or quote their own essays shortly after writing them. Think about that for a second. You write something with AI assistance, and minutes later, you can't recall what you just wrote. The study also found that AI-assisted essays were more uniform, less original, and described by teachers as soulless. Students felt less ownership over their work, which makes sense when you think about it. If an AI is doing the heavy cognitive lifting, how can you really claim the ideas as your own? The problem isn't AI itself, it's passive consumption of AI-generated content without engaging your own critical thinking. When you just copy-paste responses or accept AI outputs without question, you're essentially outsourcing your thinking to a machine. Over time, this creates what the researchers call cognitive atrophy. Your brain's thinking muscles get weaker from lack of use. But here's the good news. You can get all the benefits of AI while actually strengthening your cognitive abilities. You just need to adopt 3 specific habits that force your brain to stay engaged. First habit, always use web search functions and actually read the sources. When you ask ChatGPT something, turn on web search. Same with Claude, Perplexity, or whatever AI you're using. Don't just accept the AI's summary. Click through to at least one of the original sources, ideally the most relevant one to your query. This forces you to engage with primary information, fact-check the AI's interpretation, and develop your own understanding of the topic. You're using AI as a research assistant, not as a replacement for critical evaluation. Second habit, review your AI conversations every night. This one's huge, and most people completely skip it. At the end of each day, go through every chat you had with AI about something you were trying to learn or research. Treat it like reviewing class notes, because essentially, that's what it is. This creates spaced repetition, one of the most powerful learning techniques we know. Instead of just getting an answer and forgetting it, you're forcing your brain to re-engage with the content in a different context. This consolidates the information in your memory and helps you identify gaps in your understanding. Third habit, never copy-paste AI responses directly into your work. Unless you're dealing with extremely specific data, like exact names, dates, or technical specifications, make it a rule to read the AI's response, understand it, then rewrite it in your own words. This might seem inefficient, but it's actually the most important habit of the 3. When you force yourself to articulate ideas in your own language, several things happen. You ensure you actually understand the concept, you catch potential errors or biases in the AI's response, and you maintain ownership over your work. This rewriting process is where the real cognitive engagement happens. You're not just consuming information, you're processing it, evaluating it, and integrating it with your existing knowledge. This is exactly the kind of deep thinking that the MIT study showed was missing when people relied too heavily on AI. Think of these habits like going to the gym. You could take the elevator everywhere and let your muscles atrophy, or you can choose to take the stairs and stay strong. AI can be your cognitive elevator, convenient and useful, but you need to make sure you're still taking the mental stairs regularly to keep your thinking sharp. The MIT study actually supports this approach. They found that when students who had been thinking independently then switched to using AI, their brain activity increased rather than decreased. This suggests that AI works best as a tool to enhance thinking that's already happening, not as a replacement for thinking altogether. The bottom line is this: AI is going to be part of your work and study life, whether you like it or not. The question isn't whether to use these tools, but how to use them in ways that make you smarter rather than lazier. By implementing these 3 habits, you can harness AI's power while keeping your cognitive abilities sharp and growing.